Hello YouTube and welcome to the nation of free to play. I'm Mr. Mondstadt and today I will talk about the most valuable characters in Genshin Impact for any F2P account. I will talk about supports. I prepared a top 5 ranking of the strongest units in the game that are not a DPS, so if you want to improve your account the most with your next pulls, make sure to stick around till the end. The most important general advice I would give to new players is not to pull for DPSs, but to pull for units that can buff your damage dealers. Genshin, however, keeps releasing more and more hypercarries. In Natlan alone we got Mualani, Kinich, Chaska and now Morvika. So it is hard to stay disciplined, but believe me when I say it is worth it and your game will be so much easier with the right supports. Without any more yapping though, let's get started with the 5th place, Kazuha. I heard people say more and more that Kazuha fell off, that he's no longer as good as he used to be. Well, that is a myth. Sure, we have other options to play now, but that doesn't make him any worse. It only shows how broken he is as a support if it took until Natlan before he even got any competition. He is the best anemo unit in the game and offers so much for your team, he has to be in the top 5. He's very F2P friendly, you don't need constellations at all. You can forge an Iron Sting and slap any 4-piece Vivi set on him. As long as you focus on EM main stats and some ER here and there, you will never have to worry about his build again. Get him to 90, level his talents up, and that will be the last resin he will ever cost you. Trust me, a very good investment. But what does he bring to the table? First of all, him being Anemo and running Vivi means 40% rest shred to the swirled element, but any Anemo unit can provide that. Kazuha, however, also melts the enemy's HP. I think one issue for Kazuha is that you don't see big damage numbers on screen, but when he is in the party, you will kill any opponent significantly faster. If you don't believe me, try it out for yourself. He especially shines in AoE scenarios where you can take the most out of his grouping abilities. His skill sucks everything towards him and rest shreds all of the enemies. After that, you swap to your DPS and finish what he started. His burst keeps dealing swirl damage passively and can be infused with any swirlable element, which is why he is so valuable for any vape team. You infuse his burst with Pyro, then swap to your Hydro DPS and go ham. But he is not limited to one team, of course. You want him anywhere. Vape and Melt, sure. Noviette Hypercarry, definitely. Freeze, yes please. Spread Aggravate, you bet. Putting him in your party is basically never a bad idea. So Kazuha is a very deserved top 5 support in Genshin and still super valuable to this day. But he is not the only unit you want to have on your account, so let's move on with the 4th place, Nahida. The Dendro Archon is the top Dendro enabler to this day and Dendro teams still carry some of the best reactions, especially for F2P players. Bloom, Spread Aggravate, Burgeon, Hyper Bloom, you don't want to miss these options on your account. Yes, you can play all of these reactions without her, but it feels different. Nahida's skill lets you mark enemies and reapply Dendro from off-field, so you can focus on triggering the reactions instead of applying any Dendro again. Her damage is also not neglectable and her elemental burst gives you more buffs depending on what elements you run in the party. If you want, you can also run her as a carry in certain teams and apply even more Dendro with her normal attacks since she is a catalyst user. She is F2P friendly, you can run Sacrificial Fragments or even the 3-star weapon Magic Guide. I cleared Abyss with that book multiple times, so no need to stress out about her signature. Similar to Kazuha, you want to give her as much EM as you can and probably run her on Deepwood. That's at least how I play her. If you want to use her more for personal damage, you can run EM, Dendro damage and crit as well. Nahida does not fit in many teams, she enables many teams. She's super easy to play and especially for early game players, one of the best pulls in Genshin. I got her as soon as she was on a banner and even though she cost me over 140 pulls, I don't regret her at all. In the 3rd place we have a rather new unit from Natlan, Xylonen. Xylonen is probably the main reason why people think a bit less of Kazuha, but if you're smart you want to get them both for your account. Xylonen is an amazing unit that gives you everything you want from a support. Buffs, a great artifact set and lots of healing. This Geo Sword changed the game and is best in slot for so many teams. Here's why. Xylonen's skill shreds the resistance of not 1, but up to 3 elements at once, depending on your team. She doesn't really work with Anemo or Dendro, everything else is super good for her. Her skill will show you 3 sample mixers and you want at least 2 of them to not be Geo. If you do that, she will shred the elemental resistance depending on the elements in your party and heal you up with her burst. If not, she will buff Geo instead. Ideally you want to crown her skill because then she shreds each elemental resistance by 36%, so almost like a 4-piece Vivi set, but for up to 3 elements at once. Her burst gives you more healing per level, but she heals a lot, enough to max out Furina's fanfare in many teams. She is easy to build as she wants to run the 4-piece hero set. Since she is from Nutland, she will give you 40% elemental damage bonus to the 2 elements involved in a reaction she triggers, so Geo and whatever you crystallize. That is 40% damage bonus plus 36% rest shred plus healing. If you have another Nutland support in your party, you can also run her on Archaic Petra for additional buffs. She also scales off defense and only wants some ER, that's all. Crit stats are not important. You can give her a Favonius sword or the Nutland Forgeable sword for more defense and more healing. Also, her ability to skate up walls in the overworld is amazing, no more climbing and running out of stamina. Xylonen offers everything you need from a support, and if you can, you should get her. We're getting closer to the number 1 spot, but as a disclaimer, the top 5 are all super close to each other and you could argue for any of them to be the most valuable support. It depends on your account, on what you value the most, what units you want to buff, and so on. So this is just my personal ranking. So if you disagree, please stay calm in the comments. Thanks. Okay, the silver medal, and with that the number 2 spot goes to Furina. She is the actual star of Fontaine and buffs anything and everything. Her elemental skill will summon her 3 shrimps and deal decent off-field damage while also applying Hydro. This mechanic is also super useful against otherwise very annoying opponents like the Nutland Saurian we had in the Abyss the other day. Her 3 pets don't care, they just attack and get the job done. But that's not even the best part about her kit. Her elemental burst will buff all of your party like crazy, up to 75% damage bonus if you max out her fanfare. How do you do that? By losing and winning HP. Furina will drain your HP, so you need a good healer to get it back up fast and you will be maxed out. But even if you don't max out your buffs every single rotation, you will do way more damage than without her. And Furina works with pretty much anyone in the game, no matter the element, no matter the reaction. Hydra is almost always useful, so she is super flexible and makes so many DPSs so much better. She's also rather F2P friendly. Her best artifact set is Golden Troop, which is a very efficient domain to farm, and some of her best weapons are Festering Desire or the fishing weapon from Fontaine. Favonius is also an option. So I could keep yapping about why she is so broken, but I think you all got the point and know how good she is. Oh, and she can also walk on water. Now, it is time to reveal the best support character in the game, but before that, do me a favor and check whether you are subscribed already, because over 90% of my audience is not, and it would be really amazing if you could change that together. Thank you. The gold medal goes to Bennett. Yes, the 1.0 4-star from Mondstadt that nobody wants to team up with. You can come at me in the comment section, tell me that he's not that good at C0, but he is a 4-star and still is, in my opinion, the most valuable unit in the game. Any attack scaling DPS wants him in the team, just because of his insane buffs from his burst. And he is not replaceable, even after over 4 years there is no second Bennett. You can play Kazua or Xylonen, you can run Furina or mix some other supports to make up for her, but there is no other unit like him. Just look at the current Spiral Abyss. You want him on both sides, no matter whether you play Mavuika, Arlecchino, Kinich, Chaska, Raiden, Child, Garming, Yoimiya, Wriothesley, Navia. I could keep going. If there was a second Bennett in the game, imagine. He is super F2P friendly, you can build him with whatever, he will work. Noblesse or Instructor, HP Goblet or Pyro, Crit Mask or Healing Bonus. As long as you have a high base attack and enough ER, he will work wonders for your team. Not only does he heal you back up and give massive attack buffs, He is also Pyro, which means you will get even more attack with any Pyro DPS because of the resonance. So disagree with me if you want, but he is and will stay the true Pyro Archon and unfortunately stays irreplaceable for now. That is why he is the best support in the game. Before we wrap up this video, there are of course some honorable mentions that were very close to making it in the video. First there is Sidlali. Her Cryo Shield and application alongside her Rash Shred and supportive capabilities through the Hero Set or Thrilling Tales make her one of the best supports in the game, and you could argue whether she's better than Kazuha for some accounts, but at some point I had to narrow it down to a list of 5. Then there is Chevrus, one of the best 4-stars in the game, who made Overload a valid reaction again because of her buffs. Let's also not forget Zhongli, the Lord of Geo and the most comfortable shield in the game. While he doesn't buff you as much as other units do, he makes your life a whole lot easier. And lastly, Shanyong, Anemo, healer, and enables a new plunge playstyle to anyone, so also a strong support if you can make use of her. In the end, this is not a must-pull list or anything like that. Genshin has a bunch of very strong support characters by now, you should get whoever you want. It all comes down to your favorite characters in the end. Anyway, this brings us to the end of this video. I hope you liked my little ranking and agree with me or not. Let me know your thoughts on the strongest supports in the comments down below. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up or subscribe to the channel. Thanks again for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye!